Hello, this is Yolanda Murphy, and welcome to this Exceptional Journey podcast, where you will find inspiration to live courageously through adversity, empowerment to live freely despite your past, and ignition to live boldly in your purpose, all by walking the survivor's side of life. Good people, what is going on? Welcome back to this Exceptional Journey podcast. First of all, thank you so much for clicking over to my little corner of the podcast world. Again, my name is Yolanda. I am your host of this awesome show. So first things first, if you have not subscribed, click it, check it, star it, do what you need to do so you can stick around. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be so much fun. And if this is your first time, hey, welcome. Have a seat. We're going to talk about some stuff. But anyway, guys, I wanted to come tonight. I'm actually coming to you live. Well, not live, but live. From Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I actually had an awesome experience here today at the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition Conference. Let me drop real quick my social media information just so everyone has it, because I don't want to forget at the end. I am on Facebook and Instagram at This Exceptional Journey. And then on Twitter, because there's only 14 characters you can do, it's TEJ Podcast. I do also have a personal profile or an advocacy profile. Hit me up there, Yolanda Murphy, whatever's clever. We're good. Just to let you know, if you hear any hums, dings, ticks, talking, clinking, my hotel room is literally right by the elevator. So if you hear anything, that's probably what it is. The ice machine is right outside my door. So I thought I'd just let you guys know, right? So let's get started. As you can see by the title, I wanted to talk about why your story or your testimony is important. So let me preface the conversation by saying this. I've had an amazing weekend so far, and it's only Friday, okay? I have had such an awesome time. It's Friday, and my support group I'm a part of, I've already talked about it in the last couple podcasts, which is Young Adult Cancer Survivor group through the Cancer Caring Center in Pittsburgh, PA, had an amazing event yesterday called the Wig Out. But we had an amazing time yesterday. Those who couldn't make it were missed. Those of us who did not beat our cancer battle were definitely missed. Big ups to Jen and Haley, and I'll do a whole nother podcast on that. But it was such an amazing time to be with friends who are now family, who understand where you've been and just love on each other. It was an amazing time. So I say all of that to say, yesterday I did that. Today was PBCC, again, Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition's annual conference. One-day event, jam-packed with amazing speakers, amazing sessions, and I'm grateful I was able to be a part. Listen, your story, your testimony is important for a few reasons. Me being here at the PBCC conference kind of lit another or a bigger ignition under the light of advocacy that I already had. Some of you already know, if I've touched base with you in life physically or in life socially, meaning social media, I try to be the best advocate I can be from where I've come from. I just posted on my social media, you have to help people from where you are. From where you are to come from where you've been, because you've known it. And I believe wholeheartedly there are so many men and women out there that need help and guidance and wisdom based upon your own story and testimony. You just don't know it. But it's still important to share that with people and with the world. But I just wanted to briefly talk about, this fire I have under me yet again, coming from an awesome conference like PBCC, talking about why your story is important. I can run the gamut as to why I think mine is important. If you've listened to my last couple podcasts, you've heard my 2-year cancerversary. You've heard as to why I'm doing this exceptional journey blog, podcast, and futurely YouTube. You've already heard why I'm doing it. But let me tell you why your story and why your testimony is important. You ready? Let me tell you. So first things first, wherever you have been, there is always someone that's there that needs to be brought out. Let me explain it this way, just in case you don't understand. There are some people, and again, I will preface this whole conversation. I've gone to the PBCC conference. I'm connected to some phenomenal organizations besides, PBCC, some phenomenal people. But I've seen some amazing people do some amazing things. But everyone is not where we are. Okay, I think back to the very first day I was diagnosed. And when I think about where I was then versus where I am now, stark difference. Absolute stark difference. And not necessarily in a bad way, but if I would have had more information, it would have been different. It would have been a whole different scenario or topic of conversation. So the number one reason I feel like it is important for you to tell your story is because there is someone right now in the same predicament where you were. Yes, I'm a breast cancer survivor. Amen. Thank you, God. But there are other topics and things that come along with my testimony that just don't touch and speak on breast cancer. So what I say to you is even if you're not a breast cancer survivor, you're a survivor of something. Let's let that sink in for a minute. You are a survivor of something. Domestic abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. It runs the gamut. You are a survivor of something. And in your survivorship, there is someone who has been where you are that you can help them to get where you are now. That's why your story is important. Because you've grasped straws. You've tried all the best things that you can. You've done the best that you can. And that's amazing. I applaud you. But there are still people, think about this, there are still people where you used to be. There are still people where you used to be. So what does that mean? That means you're not done. This is just the beginning. There is always someone, and I don't remember if I heard this in elementary school. I don't remember if I heard this. I don't remember where I heard it. I don't know if it might have been in church. I don't know. But I remember someone telling me there's always someone worse off than you. Always. But what does that mean though? It doesn't just come with the recollection, or the awareness that there's someone worse off. How can you help from where you are someone who is where you've been? That's the question. That is the question. Think about it. Take a minute, write it down. How can you help someone from exactly where you are? Because here's the thing. We think there's supposed to be like 15,000 steps. And then I'm successful. Or, once I come from addiction, or once I come from this, or once I come from this different situation, once I've met all of that requirement, then I've arrived. Then I can say to someone, oh, I've been there. Oh, no. No, that's not how this works. I will take opioids, for example. The opioid crisis, I hate to use that phrase, but it's real. It is real. Drugs have always been around, don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? People being addicted to drugs has been around for a long time. So let me preface that before people be in my comments. Talk about, no, Yolanda, people. Okay, yes, I hear you. Thank you. Because I have family members, and a few of them can come on my show and let you know. The opioid and drug crisis has been real for decades, literally for decades. But what I'm saying right now is it's a big concern in media. So let me say that. But I'm going to use the opioid crisis as an example. But I know someone right now who was very open and honest and let me know. Well, let us know, but let me know. This is what's going on in my life. I am addicted to prescription drugs. I am addicted to opioids. And she gave us her gamut of reasons why. And for a minute, because I have a couple cousins close, like one generation, but older, you know what I mean? I've had cousins and family members that have been drug addicted. And like I said, I have a couple cousins I can even think of off the top of my mind that have been clean now for 10, 11, 12, 15 years. But that's not everybody's testimony, right? So this young woman said to us, because we were in a group, but said to me specifically, because I went up to her afterwards and said, you were speaking to my heart. You were speaking to me, and I'm grateful, that she was addicted. She's addicted to opioid drugs. She's addicted to prescription drugs. She continued to tell us how she got them, where she got them. And all I could say to her was thank you, because she was honest. Guys, we have to be honest. We have to be honest. So I guess that's another point. I didn't even think about it, but I guess that's another point. First, you have to be honest with yourself. Where am I? Where do I want to go? Second is realize and recognize where you were before someone is there that you can help to where you are. It's always been very crucial to me that I help someone else, that I don't just hold in all the information that I've garnished over these 2 years, all of these conferences that I've gone to, and all of these amazing men and women that I've met. And I said, how can I get this information to other people? And again, like I said, from my past podcast, this exceptional journey was born. It was a necessity to me to see this come to fruition. It was a necessity, because no matter how far I think I've come, 2 years, I know some breast cancer survivors specifically that have been survivors for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I want to get there, but my lowly 2 years doesn't negate where I've come from. Make sense? Okay, I'm not going to harp on that anymore. But I felt that needed to be said, because even at this conference, I've ran into some women, some amazing women that have said to me, oh, I'm only 2 months out from chemo, or I'm only 2 months out from radiation. Girl, aren't you farther though than where you were before? Aren't you? Let's clap it up. I'm just saying, we have to start taking inventory and say to ourselves, but I'm still further than where I was, right? So that's the first step, or maybe the second step, but 1 or 2 is together and you get it. So the next step I want to talk about is helping people from where you are. So it's great to recognize for your inward self, okay, you know what? I have to recognize and realize, I'm not where I've been before. So I can help someone from where I was to where I am now. That's wonderful. But how can you help them? That's the next point. Is you can help them in numerous ways. So me personally, I saw the need and I wanted to ensure that people that were like me, so let me describe the me that I'm talking about. I'm talking about young. I am or was diagnosed at 36. So that's still considered a young adult breast cancer patient and or survivor. I am African American, which means African American women have a 40% more chance of passing away from breast cancer than any other demographic. And that would be a whole nother podcast for another time. But those are two of my increments. I am also Christian, like I've said before. All of these things encompass Yolanda Murphy. But what encompasses you? What encompasses you that can help someone else? What encompasses you so strongly out of, whether it be out of a diagnosis, whether it be out of a unfortunate situation, whether it's a relationship with another man or woman, relationship, unfortunately, sometimes with family, whether it's your mom and dad, aunt and uncle, cousin. What about you can someone sit back and say, if they are still in the situation, that because of you, they can see there's a better way? Think of that, and that is why your story is important. That's why it is so crucial for all of us to get out in this world. Listen, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I let everybody know 6 rings, black and gold in the house. Pittsburgh is a little dot, a little teeny tiny dot on the map of the world. I'm not just trying to affect Pittsburgh. I'm not just trying to affect Pennsylvania, although I'm grateful for all of my connects, of course. I'm at the Pennsylvania Breast Cancer Coalition. We need to make those connections. But I'm trying to affect the world with my testimony, with my story. Breast cancer is everywhere. It has no respecter of persons. So people in Pittsburgh don't just get breast cancer. People in the USA don't just get breast cancer. I am trying to reach out to those people who can't even speak English, that I need a translator to say, babe, if I made it, dude, if I made it, you can make it too. So think about those things. First of all, think about your testimony. Think about, where you've come from, even if it's day 10, if it's day, 3065, you've made it. So lastly, how can you press forward into your future? So you've thought about, your first step being, okay, let me take inventory. Let me see where I am now. Let me see what I can do right now. Inwardly, for myself, okay, I've come from here. Okay, I may have just finished radiation if we're speaking specifically of breast cancer or cancer in general. Okay, I just finished chemo. Again, my route might not be your route. I did lumpectomy, chemo, radiation. Some people, it's the complete opposite. Your story is going to be your story. But whatever your story is, first of all, reflect. Okay, I came from here. Now I'm here. What sense can I make in the middle? That is your story. Next, how can I use in that story to make sense to other people? And to be honest, don't get me wrong. I've had a couple speaking engagements. I have a couple coming up, at the end of this year, possibly next year. It's not about that though. It's about people that you come to a conference like this. PA Breast Cancer Coalition. I've already told you guys, I'm a part of Young Survivor Coalition, YSC. I'm a part of Living Beyond Breast Cancer, LBBC. Out of all those things, I've ran into amazing women who have either seen me on Instagram or who have seen me on Facebook. and are like, oh my goodness, Yolanda, I know you. And I'm like, hey girl, how you doing? Your name is? But I say that to say you never know what your story and testimony is going to bring. So once you reflect and take inventory, you then say to yourself, how can I help? And then after you do that, you have to remember why you're doing this. You have to remember that it's not about you. And, you know, I can't come up. I've tried over the last 2 years, I've tried to come up with another phrase, because that phrase is so me. And I know there are some people or some sets of people who just can't take me. And that's okay. Believe you me, another step of growth is knowing that you're not for everybody and everybody's not for you. Hello. We'll talk about that in another podcast. But I say that to say I had to take inventory and step back and be like, okay, but let me regurgitate why I am here. Let me regurgitate for those young men and women who are under the age of 40 or even 50, who have been diagnosed, gone through treatments for breast cancer, what it looks like to survive. So not only did I have to take my own inventory of where I've been, not only did I have to take then that inventory to help someone else, but then I had to completely regurgitate to myself what that inventory was, so that I can keep myself going, so that I can be like, babe, you are not where you were. Let's go. You've done this. And again, this does not have to connotate to just the breast cancer journey. You can be a survivor of anything, but from where you are, how can you look back and say, my story, my testimony, if I were to get it out to the nations, to the world, what impact could I have on another man or woman? Now, don't get me wrong. There were some very dark moments in my walk where I cried, and, you know, especially when my hair fell out, and they were dark. There were dark times. I'm not sitting here protesting or suggesting that it's easy. But I will say this, once you get on that other side though, mentally, I'm not even just talking about physically, once you get on that other side to recognize I've come so far from where I've been, it makes the world of difference. So all I wanted to do from Harrisburg, PA, is talk about with you guys that your story is important, that your testimony is important. If I've learned nothing, and again, this is a conference, this was my first time going to the PBCC conference. Then I've been to YSC, LBBC. I was trained under NBCC for Project Lead. I've done some amazing things. Again, met some phenomenal people. But this conference made me think about that. And I wanted to get on and record, hey, you have a testimony. You have a story. And it needs to be heard by someone. Maybe they don't even know it needs to be heard yet. And that's the other catch-22, so to speak. It's a testimony that needs to be heard, but there may be people who don't even know they need it yet. Hold on to it. Don't think that your story is over. Don't think that your journey is over. So this is just a little empowering moment, I guess. This is just a whole moment to say, you know, everything that you've gone through is for a reason. Everything that you've gone through, you can definitely help someone with. Find the reason. Find the reason. And to be honest, I have some friends right now that might be saying, well, you know, Yolanda, I can't even find my own reason. Hello? And there's days like that. But, caveat is but, you're not where you were. You're not where you were. It was worse. It was worse. It was way worse. It was way worse. So find that reason. Find a couple reasons that you can help someone else from where you are. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I didn't want it to be this long. But listen, guys, hit me up on social media. Again, This Exceptional Journey on Facebook and Instagram, TEJ Podcast on Twitter. Of course, hit me up on the website, thisexceptionaljourney.com. Let me know what you think. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm a survivor. I want to help as many people as possible, and I want you to be a part of my journey. So we're in this together, all right? I'll talk to you guys soon.